Yeah. Yeah, I like this. This is good. What's up, guys? Phoenix here. In this video, I'm going to be discussing a new spell card that we get in Shining Victories, so about 5 months out. But it's a very, very good card, and I'm actually looking forward to having it and playing with it, because it does something that we have needed in terms of helping out ritual strategies. The card in question is a normal spell card by the name of Preparation of Rites. So, preparing for the preparation of rites, I guess? Its effect is extremely good and exactly what we needed for generic ritual support in the game now that Preparation of Rites had to be limited because of Nekroz's abusability of that card. Its effect is add 2 cards to your hand, 1 ritual spell card from your deck and then 1 ritual monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand that is specifically written in the card text of that ritual spell that you just added. So this inherently excludes all Nekroz ritual spells and Nekroz ritual monsters, as well as Gishki ritual spells and Gishki monsters from being used with this card. And that is a bit unfortunate because Gishki, even though they are the spiritual predecessor to Nekroz, as well as Nekroz being the successor in terms of lore to the Gishki archetype, they function on a similar basis in terms of having versatility with their ritual spells and ritual monsters, and thus there was no real way to print this card and have it exclude Nekroz and not be abused in Nekroz, while also not excluding it from the Gishki archetype. And that is ultimately pretty sad, because ultimately Gishkis could use an extra boost in terms of it's a really finely designed and very well designed and balanced ritual archetype, but it just can't get any more support in terms of generic ritual support without Nekroz being able to abuse it, and Nekroz being the inherently better deck with better quality cards. That's a problem. But that's not to say that there aren't any other good ritual monsters or ritual-based strategies that you can't use this card with. This card has some amazing, amazing interactions with some very, very tried and true ritual monsters that quite a few of them come to mind. Most notable ones that come to mind are playing this in any sort of Herald of Perfection lock deck or playing a Saphira Hieratic hybrid, thus using, different interactions between those cards to either lock your opponent out of the game or yield advantage, and just using this card as a rota to get into those combo pieces that you would need to establish those plays. But there is one other strategy that can use this card, and is one that is very, very close to my enjoyment and my heart, and something that I've done on this channel in the past 6 months, and that is Sybil Shadalls. Prediction Princess Taratray and Prediction Ritual are 2 very valid candidates for this card to be used with, and the Shadal cards in general being very good quality cards that can be triggered and abused off of Ritual Summoning Taratray, as well as Taratray's effect recurring them, flip-flopping them, gaining advantage in that method, is very, very relevant in terms of what it could be doing in the game 5 months from now, depending on where we are. We don't know what the rest of our releases are going to be until then, but pure speculation aside, in a vacuum, it seems like it would be very good. The main problem that most ritual decks have had in the past is that ritual summoning inherently is taking extreme amounts of minuses in order to establish your ritual monster. You have to have the ritual monster, the ritual spell, and then whatever you're using as tribute. Now, this has been circumvented through archetypes like Gishki and Nekroz having cards that specifically allow you to ritual summon at less of a burden, less of a cost. But you still do take minuses in most situations. Even with Taratray sending Shadalls, you typically take at least a -1. This card upon activation is a +1. It adds 2 cards for 1, and it's specifically searching your entire ritual summon that you need. All you need to have in the other piece of the puzzle is the monsters you are going to be tributing, monster or monsters. Now, if those monsters are stuff like Shadalls with Taratray or Hieratics with Saphira, you all of a sudden aren't taking minuses anymore, because the minus that you would take off the inherent ritual summon is being circumvented through the Hieratics triggering because they were tributed, the Shadalls triggering because they were sent to grave by card effect, and then your ritual spell is being soaked up by the fact that you took a plus off of Preparation of Rites. And that is very neat, that is very cool, and I really enjoy that about this card. The fact that it is soaking up that inherent minus, at least a piece of it, that you're taking from the ritual summon mechanic is very, very huge in terms of what it allows potential future ritual cards to be, because that has always been the biggest problem with the ritual mechanic and why it's never really taken off that much in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just in between fusion and ritual summoning, 2 mechanics that are very, very similar in how they can function. The ritual mechanic has just been inherently worse because you have to have the monster in your hand rather than in your extra deck, and thus that generates further minuses in terms of making plays. But of course that has been solved recently with archetypes like Gishki and Nekroz, but other just generic ritual cards haven't had that sort of, leniency in terms of being able to soak up the minus that you take from ritual summoning. This card assists you in that, which is really cool. It also is just a better card than Senju, because Senju can only search ritual monsters, and in most cases that's not good enough for you because your deck doesn't have a Nekroz of Brionac or a Nekroz of Colossalus that can search for the ritual spells or any other monster that you needed. So basically this card just makes Senju further irrelevant in regular ritual strategies that don't have access to cards like that can discard ritual monsters to search ritual spells. Overall, I really like this card, and I feel like when this card comes out, it's just very well designed and it's very good. The fact that it only puts restrictions on versatile ritual summoning mechanics like Gishki and Nekroz is very, very, very well designed. I have to give Konami points for this one. They successfully made a card to replace Preparation of Rites while also not allowing it to be abusable in the same way Preparation of Rites was, but is still actually just really good, and it's something that I believe we've needed in the game for a long time. Because one, this just also assists decks that don't have level 6 or lower ritual monsters, because that was a big problem with Preparation of Rites, is that if your deck only played high level ritual monsters like Taratray or Zeogigas, like, you couldn't abuse Preparation of Rites in that fashion, and that was something that was also an issue, but this card doesn't have that issue. This card is essentially just a little bit better in terms of what it can be done versatility-wise and splashability-wise in certain ritual-based strategies. Overall, I just really, really like this card. I think this card is very, very good, and I cannot wait to play with it in Sybil Shaddolls, because I have been feeling like Shaddolls are still pretty viable in terms of, even without Construct, as long as they can have some sort of boss monster that outs established boards or controls boards, then they should still be able to be playable. And so I've been tweaking around with Sybil Shaddolls a little bit, but I haven't done anything major with it. But this card has certainly rekindled my interest in that deck, and I probably will be testing it a little bit once the card, comes out on DEVpro, once they code it in. But anyway, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the nonsense you usually do. Links are in the description to both my Facebook pages. If you want to connect with me, chat with me, whatever, definitely check those out. They're there for you to do so. Click on that if you have not. I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps me make money, and there's no reason to lie to you guys about that. If you have an ad block enabled, do me a quick favor, a quick solid, if you will. Remove the ad block, click an ad or two, however many you feel like doing, and then put the ad block back on when you're done. It's a great way to show your support, show that you like the content I've been producing. It's a great feedback for me. It lets me know that people are definitely liking what I'm doing, as well as it just helps me out more than you could ever know, and I can't really stress that enough. And I would be greatly appreciative of you if that is something that you could take the time out of your day to do. But that is all for this video. If you have any other cards from the newer set that you want me to discuss, leave a comment down below suggesting cards that you would like me to talk about, give my input on, give my opinion on, whatever the sort that you want to hear. I'm definitely open for suggestions. But that, as I've already said, is it for this video. And as always, guys, take care.